November 19th, 2024. Flight Simulator 2024 hits the market to raving reviews. I'm just kidding, it was terrible. So 6 months later, I want to see what the sim's like today. November 19th, or May 19th, 2024. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at some of the things that I had issues with before and see if they're fixed 6 months later. Without further ado, let's begin. So real quick, I do want to note, we're going to focus primarily on the career and free flight modes. I'm not very interested in the World Photographer activities or Challenge League because, well, to be quite frank, they're really well curated and made to look pretty. So the career mode, as well as the free flight, is what we're going to focus on today. First, we'll take a quick look through the marketplace to see if it's cleaned up and not full of crap that they're trying to remarket. But those two, career, free flight, are going to be the main focus for today. So jumping into the marketplace, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in here. There's a lot of low-rated stuff, a lot of imported stuff from the previous sim. I also noticed there seems to be a certain developer who makes aircraft and rotorcraft that you can purchase in the deluxe versions of FS2024, who also maybe makes a version that you can buy for cheaper. That sucks. So do with that information what you will. The marketplace is still full of crap. Moving on. Moving into the career mode, it's definitely kept my attention for long enough to hit level 154, as well as stick a few million of their fictitious credits into my pockets, but it's not without its issues. Taking a look at this medium haul mission, we can see we're going into Schertz Field, which is a closed airport. You can tell that by the X's on the field. It's also far too narrow and, in my opinion, too short of a runway to land the PC-24 or really any medium cargo aircraft in the sim successfully on. The problems didn't stop for me there, though. You may see in my upper right-hand corner on the mission steps, it's telling me to fly to pattern entry and fly to the field with a shortcut to skip to the descent, except I'm currently taxiing to my final landing spot. Just for fun, I decided to hit the Alt-N to see what the heck it would do, considering I'd already parked at the location, and, well, this happened. Huh? But the bugs don't stop there. I'm constantly getting hit with dings for aviator performance, missed radio communication, so on and so forth, getting thrown into the air seemingly at random while taxiing. The list goes on. Now, wrapping out the fully non-inclusive list, there are tons of bugs I haven't talked about. The helicopter rescue missions, unplayable because a lot of them happen in dense forested areas. They want you to land close to the person you're supposed to be rescuing, but if there's 10, 20-foot trees, you can't do that. The end. Moving on to a good game-breaking bug, fuel management. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. It essentially pans out to, at the start of a mission, defuel your airplane all the way, take every last drop out of the tanks, then start your mission. Once you've loaded into your aircraft, we're going to go into the settings menu and set up binds to add fuel. You can probably see where this is going. After you have your bind set to add fuel quantity, add some fuel to your airplane, fly your mission, land safely, and then enters the final step, landing your aircraft, parking it, and then fully fueling it before finishing your mission, before shutting down your engines. Then, the next time you go in, you'll have a full tank of fuel that you can sell all the way back to zero, putting a few thousand credits, maybe even 100,000 plus, depending on your aircraft type, back into your pocket. Moving into the aircraft of this segment, the Skyship 600, now finally working with those vectored thrust propellers. Fantastic, glad to see it. Next up, the Boeing 737. A lot of issues I had with this aircraft, namely, first and foremost, the displays are fixed. Previously, this display brightness was tied to the panel brightness, but as you can see, I've got the panel brightness off and it works just fine. It's the same thing for the radios down below. The final big grip I had with the 737 was the external lighting. As you can see, it's now fixed, though it's worth mentioning that this still suffers from the same overall dim external lighting that all FS2024 aircraft have. Moving on to the native 787, there's this weird dorsal antenna, but outside of that, the aircraft is largely fixed, sans the taxi light still saying run. Arguably the worst aircraft in this list is the 747-400 series. Both the tanker as well as the Dreamlifter we're looking at. Pop-in is abysmal, which is really a letdown because look at these textures on this landing gear. You can read the text up close. Absolute letdown. Pop in, fix it. Sticking with Boeing and moving to the FA-18 Super Hornet, a lot of things actually are fixed. Things that aren't. The external lighting is still not accurate to the aircraft, as well as the wing fold switch is still inverted. It's such a simple thing to change. Don't know why they didn't do it. Just a quick note, a plus, the Cessna 208, the scientific observation does have a working cabin. It was blinked before. But we're immediately brought back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity with the ES-30. The avionics package still sucks. The external lighting is a joke. You've got extremely bright nose lights, but these main fuselage lights are so dim. So dim. They're on right now. What is this? The Icon A5's broken. The alternator light stays on. Water clips through the fuselage still, and the roost goes straight through the tail. 2.5 to go. Moving on to the P-51 Delta. There's still 2 landing light switches, no idea what's going on with that, and most importantly, the aileron and flap on the right wing still don't work. Rounding off our list is none other than the Pilatus PC-24, one of the largest improved aircraft. The only thing that still doesn't work is the window shades either side, as well as a very strange battery charging issue. The batteries will discharge continuously unless you have ground power on, even in the air. This brings us to the end and the most egregious thing in my opinion. It involves rotorcraft and altimeters. You've heard me complain about it before, and we're going to do it now because it's still broken. When you go to auto set the altimeter, every single time, it spins all the way to 0, as low as the altimeter will go. And it does this on not just the R66, but every single rotorcraft in the sim. I checked every single one of them, 2020 and 2024. This needs to be fixed. It's unacceptable. So that wraps up my overall thoughts on the sim. And I didn't even get into performance. We'll talk now. We'll talk about it later. Performance still isn't great. I'm currently hovering over San Francisco, and I've got all my settings cranked, and I'm getting like 2 frames per second. It doesn't matter. I think this is it for the sim. I think this is as good as it's going to get. I think we're going to see packages roll out, and that's it. Setting all of that aside, I do need to acknowledge that I have 400 hours of play in this game. And, well, it's taken up some of my attention, and I do think there's value in that. I just don't think that value meets the base asking price of this sim. I don't think it's worth it, personally, and I know I'm a hypocrite for sitting here saying don't buy this while I'm sitting here playing it, but I'm doing this more so you can see what happens on a upper mid-tier PC, and you can compare your specs. I've talked about my specs 3 million times. 3080, i9 10900K, and way more memory than FS2024 needs. I just don't think it's where it's at. I can't talk. I don't think it's where it needs to be. And because of that, I'm still going to stand by my guns and say I would not buy this after 6 months. It's worth noting that in the US, at least, most employment evaluation periods are 90 days or 3 months. We gave Flight Simulator twice that amount of time, and I still would fire it. But those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. What are yours? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you very, very much for watching this. I do dearly appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. As always, take it easy.